Like President James, I need helpers as well. Good evening, brothers and sisters. Our next past president to be honored is Sister Joanne Adams. Joanne Davis Adams served in various capacities within the ABUT and BUT, including 3 one-year terms as president from 1990 to 1993. During her tenure, substantial changes and improvements were made to teachers' salaries, benefits, and awards based on teachers' professionalism. A sports enthusiast, Mrs. Adams initiated the BUT's representation at the CUT Biannual Athletic Championships and sanctioned the annual 5K road race. 2 of Mrs. Adams' proudest moments in the BUT are being acknowledged by the Caribbean Union teachers for dedicated service and seeing the union initiative under her tenure, Project RIDE, becoming Bermuda's national program for teen auxiliary cycle licensing.
Well, I started out as a union member back in 1980, and then in 81 I actually got involved and became an executive member. I worked my way up to become president. I had several roles. I was on the executive member, and then I became an executive officer. And then I actually went on to become a second vice president for Caribbean Union of Teachers as well. Once upon a time, we got our paychecks in our hand, and students delivered the paycheck to you, stapled, and handed it to a teacher. And we fought to get it in a broad envelope. And every time, and that was a government kept saying, cost factor, and we were like, we need to be respected. And that's a measure of respect alone. Why should a child be bringing you your check? That's personal and private and confidential. So there were things like that we were fighting for, and they may seem trivial now, but they were major back then. And you needed to ask for those things because like I said, we needed to be respected. And respect starts with the smallest of things and then grows. In regards to the 100 years, I'd like to congratulate the Bermuda Union of Teachers for bringing to life the dream that 4 teachers had 100 years ago at the death of another teacher. And the fact that we've had the insight to look at that I think that helps to grow the movement and grow the whole idea of trade unionism and togetherness. And I'd like to congratulate you all and hope that this is a stepping stone to what our next 100 years of success as the Bermuda Union of Teachers.
Brothers and sisters, please join me in welcoming BUT past president, Sister Joanne Adams.
Thank you, and long live BUT. I would just like to say that I worked with the exception of Dr. Hudson and Dr. Erskine Simmons, I've worked with all the presidents that are who have served, who've been honored this evening, and it was an honor to work with each and every one of them. And I too would like to acknowledge one of my mentors. Well, they were all mentors for me, because if I was there before or after, I still learned from everybody. And also, at that time, we were really moving toward the Trade Union Congress, which I was so pleased to see after my tenure come to fruition. And I would like to thank Audible Simmons, Eugene Blakeney, because they were always there, Molly Simmons, because these were people who helped me and groomed me as well as the people from BUT. And in closing, I just want to say, be Bermuda. Believe in our people, believe in ourselves, believe in our children, believe in yourselves that we can make Bermuda better. Union. We are a union. We need to practice solidarity, capacity, continue to build our people, continue to build our people in whatever way that we can, and we can do it. Teachers. We're all teachers. We all help each other, train each other, tell each other stories to help each other to grow. And we must continue to do that because everyone has talent, everyone. And teachers and leaders, it's our responsibility to find the talent in everyone in this country and take them to the highest heights and make Bermuda the best Bermuda that can be. Bermuda Union of Teachers, education for responsibility, and we all must take a stand. Thank you.
Thank you, Sister Joanne Adams. Please welcome Brother Dante Cooper to present the NACS Award.
Good evening, brothers and sisters. Our next past president to be honored is Brother Anthony Wolf. Mr. Wolf started his teaching career at Whitney Institute, and after a short 2-year stint at the Barclay Institute, he was appointed to Dellwood Middle School in 1997. In 2000, he was nominated for the Bermuda Overcoming Learning Disabilities Bold Educator of the Year Award. Mr. Wolf has moved through the ranks of the Bermuda Union of Teachers, serving as school representative, high school representative, vice president, and in 1999, he was elected as BUT president. Under his leadership in 2002, the union received a mandate to revisit the issue of parity for teachers. He led the union through a week-long strike, which effectively closed every school in the Bermuda public school system and resulted in a long-sought parity with the BPSU. Mr. Wolf is currently still serving the union as vice president.
My first participation with the union was actually as a school rep at Whitney Institute, and from there I was elected onto the executive committee as a high school rep for the Eastern Zone. We actually had our reps at that time were in different zones. I was an Eastern Zone rep for high schools, and then vice president, and so I pretty much can say that I've actually come through the ranks of the BUT. During my time as president of the union, one of the things we were fighting for was discipline in our schools, some sort of alternative placement for students. We were having many disciplinary problems with our students, and one big struggle was actually how can we handle these students, because we have to remember that we were in a comprehensive classroom, which meant that everyone, in spite of their academic ability or behavior, had to be in the same classroom. During the tenure of Minister Dame Jennifer Smith, we actually took a march on Parliament Hill, and as a result of that march, the Code of Conduct for Education or for public school system came into place. You have a lot of power in your hands, and I recognized what they meant by power was the fact that it was all brought about through solidarity. And so solidarity for any union, and the BUT in particular, is very important. And as we move forward as a union, I have to say that it is most important that we continue with the strength, because we are as strong as our weakest member. But if we can bring that weakest member together collectively, then we are a force to be reckoned with.
Brothers and sisters, please join me in welcoming BUT past president, Brother Anthony Wolf.
Thank you, Brother Dante, President in waiting. You know, I am deeply honored to know that I stand here this evening after treading the footsteps of many august and esteemed past presidents. As President James has mentioned earlier, I am indeed humbled. You think a lot before you get up here, but when you get up here and look out there, you kind of like forget everything. But nonetheless, I will say, and it's interesting that a lot of the words I was going to use this evening, I've already said through the recording, the interview, but you know, we are only as strong as our weakest link. We must keep that in mind at all times. It is through solidarity, BUT members, that we've come this far, and it is only solidarity that is going to take us on. In closing, let me say that collectively, we are a force to be reckoned with. Long live the BUT.
Thank you, Brother Anthony Wolf. Our next past president to be honored is Sis Lisa Trott. In 1999, Lisa Trott was hired as a guidance counselor for Whitney Institute Middle School. She worked at Whitney until leaving to pursue a law qualification in 2011. From 1999 until 2011, Ms. Trott was a member of the executive team of the Bermuda Union of Teachers as the counselor rep. Throughout her time with the union, she served in many capacities, including co-chair of the Women's Committee, member of several negotiating teams, and president from 2005 to 2007.
Two things that I remember specifically from my time was that we started we restarted the teachers' newsletter. It was decided that we really needed to keep our people educated about what we did in the union, and so we started a newsletter. I think also during that time we made the decision to do Teacher Talk, which is the radio program. I remember much discussion at the executive about that, and I'm real pleased, you know, every Tuesday when I drive home and I still hear Teacher Talk, and it's really come into its fruition, into what we had planned for it to be way back then. At the time that I became president, we had just achieved parity, so to speak, and so when I came in, it was kind of a time for us to, okay, We've had a long battle, we won, and now it's time for us to go ahead and produce. I remember Carolyn Davis, one of the union stalwarts, always used to say, at the time that we were fighting for the parity, she was saying, because different people would come out and say, you know, oh, the teachers shouldn't be worried about money, they should be worried about teaching and the children. And Carolyn used to always say, on the airplane, they say, put your own mask on before you save somebody else. And so at the time I became president, it was like, okay, we've saved ourselves, and now it's time for us to really produce as teachers. And so that was kind of the theme. I'd like to say to this executive, congratulations. Obviously this is being pre-recorded, but I'm sure that the gala will be outstanding, because I know that when we do things, we do them well. I would like to say to teachers that are here, get involved with the union, be a part of the process. There's always room for more hands, and many hands make light work. And I would just like to say to the executive, keep on keeping on.
Brothers and sisters, please join me in welcoming BUT past president Lisa Trott.
Good evening, brothers and sisters. I'm going to be really quick and just to say really quickly that sitting out there, I get so emotional because I remember all the times that we had, all the marches and the meetings that were contentious and all the things that happened over the years. And I must say that this union did more for me than I ever could have done for it. I honed skills of research and negotiation and advocacy and those kinds of things. And I guess the last thing I'd like to say is that I am just so honored to be a part of this very elite class of people. I look out in the audience and I see people like Anthony, who mentored me. He was the president before me. I see Mike Charles, I see Dr. Christopher, who was my neighbor, and Joanne Adams, who's my cousin, and just so many of you, Glenn Faber, so many of you. And I am just, Dr. Eva Hudson, I'm just honored to be in this class, so thank you, thank you.
Thank you, Sis Lisa Trott. Please welcome Sis Princine Bailey to present the next award.
I didn't think I would see you over the podium, so I wore my high heels. Good evening, brothers and sisters. Our next past president to be honored is Sister Keisha Douglas. Ms. Douglas methodically climbed through the ranks of the BUT from rep to executive member to treasurer to president, and is now the immediate past president and life member of her beloved organization. She initiated the production of the BUT newsletter, organized and supervised the Teacher of the Year Award. She facilitated an annual workshop for teachers during the new teacher orientation in conjunction with the Ministry of Education. Ms. Douglas's education journey has been long in Tennessee, but circular in placement. She began teaching mathematics, was an instructional leader and yearhead at the Berkeley Institute, was acting principal at the Berkeley Institute. She was principal at Clearwater Middle School and returned to serve as the principal of the Berkeley Institute.
I started teaching at the Berkeley Institute January 2nd, 1996. And on my very first day, I was met by Mr. Hugh Glaves. He came over with a binder and he said, "Welcome." And he handed me the union binder, and I became the school's union rep on that very first day. So I have been affiliated with the Bermuda Union of Teachers since January 2nd, 1996. So much happened during my tenure. What really stands out for me was basically changing our curriculum. We went through Cambridge curriculum and what that would look like. We went through right up until furlough days. I was still part of the union. There's late nights. Basically being a proactive union, being a part of that journey, trying to help Bermuda get out of the rut by coming together with the Trade Union Congress and looking where we could make sacrifices to help the country. That was a huge deal, Teachers basically lost pay every month, and that was huge. Long live the BUT, 100 years strong, 100 years to go. Long live the BUT, education for responsibility.
Brothers and sisters, please join me in welcoming BUT past president, Sister Keisha Douglas.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Good evening, everyone. I'm thankful, grateful, and blessed. I've been in education for 24 years. I've given 19 years of service to the Bermuda Union of Teachers. I want to congratulate the Bermuda Union of Teachers for 100 years of service. A special shout out to our sister unions. I've had so many great memories. I've enjoyed every bit of my time with the Bermuda Union of Teachers. Like President Lisa said, it has made me who I am today. I have honed so many skills working for the Bermuda Union of Teachers. It's unfortunate that we are no longer an ABUT, and that the principals are no longer part of the teachers union, because I had to give up a special part of my journey, being the president of the teachers union, in order to aspire to principalship, which I love. Long live the BUT, long live the Barclay Institute. Respecte Benem, keep the NMU, 100 years today and 100 years to go. Well done, congratulations, and thank you again. I'm so humbled.